High ticket closers that are making between $5,000 and $10,000 in commission that are looking to take their numbers up to the $20,000 to $30,000 a month mark. You have no excuse not to watch this video in its entirety, especially if you clicked on it in the first place to improve your sales skills. If you're not familiar with myself, my name's Ethan. I went from having no prior sales experience to making over $30,000 a month in commission as a high ticket closer, and I've cash collected over $56,062 in a single day. So grab a pen and paper, take some notes, and I promise you, if you begin to implement some of these advanced sales techniques, you'll break through every sales plateau that you've ran into up to now and finally get to the commission you deserve. Let's jump into the call review.
Having a bit of trouble with the reception. That's why I'm standing outside.
Yeah, all good.
The reception's pretty bad here. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good, mate. You know, it's I don't know how much information he gave you, but yeah, you know, I have had a little bit of experience. Not all good.
Yeah.
And I've in the process of setting up a FMSF.
Cool.
And yeah, just want some help in knowing, you know, how best to invest in crypto.
Yeah, okay, makes sense. Yeah, he told me you've been through the ringer a little bit over the past few years with trading. So, I mean, in regards to the chat we'll have today, mate, I mean, firstly, I'm Tom. So I work very closely with Shane and Kai, who, as you would have seen on the first two videos, own the company. My role, essentially, I'm a bit like a glorified gatekeeper. So I just want to make sure we set the right expectations for people, you know, bring the right people in and get them the right kind of support. So with the chat today, we're not going to get overly technical on trading because, of course, that's what we do within the mentorship. But I'm also just want to focus on, you know, what specifically you're looking to create off the back of this and some of the current challenges you're facing that have maybe led us to this call. Based on those, if we both reckon this is a good next step, I'll happily walk through what we do. If not, I'll just try and provide as much value as I can, but you'll find I'm pretty blunt and honest on these calls. We can't help everybody. It's just the reality of it. So we'll do our best to figure that out together. Sound cool?
Yeah.
Fucking love how you're showing up on these calls, man. I fucking love it. I even like how you're fucking sat. The arms are looking bigger. You're filling out the shirt more. There's just more of a fucking Chad presence. I think everyone else on this call should be able to feel it. When this compared to Tom's first calls, like the way you're delivering it, this level of authority there, which I like. Yeah, real good. And just to clarify, we have context then that he's basically like been through a prior mentorship or something along those lines, like, and he's not had a great experience working with other people.
I think I'd dive straight into that now. Yeah.
Good. Let's run it.
Yeah, that's good, mate.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
yeah, I was going to say, do you mind just giving me like a recap of, like, I have got some notes from Will, but do you mind just giving me a summary of your trading journey up to this point, just so I can fill the gaps there?
Good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Okay, so back in 2017, I had my first experience with trading.
Okay.
I was made redundant from a job, so I had a little bit of money to play with.
Okay.
Not a lot, about 10 grand.
Okay.
And I started dabbling. Very uneducated, didn't know what I was doing really. I saw an ad on Facebook, hooked up with some online trading platform, company called LBLV.
Okay.
Seemed like it was going all right. And then
I do just want to pick up on the fact that you mentioned, and I'm sure we're going to gain context and clarity on why this is the case, that he was a financial DQ, because psychologically, he just said he only invested 10 grand, not a lot of money.
Yeah, no, it's just based on current situation. He's not going to be a financial DQ in a few months' time because he's basically his pension fund he's going to start to actually have control of rather than waiting the 2 years. So then I'm going to upsell him into coaching. It's just right now he couldn't even afford $100.
Yeah, because that's always a good sign. If somebody's like, yeah, 10 grand, not a lot of money. You're like,
right, that's what I was thinking as well. It was like green ticks.
Yeah, green ticks.
Made some bad moves, got some bad advice, and pretty much, lost all of my investment.
Okay. With those guys, were they teaching you how to trade yourself, or were they just telling you what to buy and what to sell?
Yeah, just signals.
Good.
Okay, just signals. Right.
Yeah, and then started getting calls, and I don't know, it was a pretty bad experience. I started getting people calling me saying, "Oh, this LBLV company is fraudulent. They've been charged. You know, we can recover your money, and but if you pay us more money."
Yeah, that was kind of.
Yeah, I did end up falling for that for a bit. I lost a bit more money,
okay.
And then I got wise to that. And
how much money did you lose through the recovery scheme?
About 2 grand.
Oh wow! I get it now. That's fucking dire. So there's a scam that effectively tricks you into believing that what you're doing is a scam, so that you then pay them.
Yeah, crypto's fucked, bro.
Wow, that's so That is so fucking bad.
Okay, so yeah, down about 12 there.
And so I kept getting phone calls for years of these people trying to tell me, all different companies saying, "Oh, we can recover your money." And I was like, "Mate, I've been through this ring before. I'm not interested." But they kept trying.
Yeah, they do.
So yeah, I was a bit burned. I wasn't, confident. But recently, because I don't have a whole lot of super, I've got about 194,000.
Okay.
I'm 65. I know that's not going to be enough. And I know that the crypto market is somewhere where I can make money. I'm trying to look at making an income, like tomorrow, so I can retire and, and learn how to have a strategy, learn how to do it properly this time.
Yeah, awesome.
Try and make an income for myself.
Cool. So I know you mentioned that the 194K in super won't be enough, and we're looking to make an income. How much would that income need to be to feel like it is actually enough for the retirement and things you want to do?
Yeah, spot on. Like, that's literally what I was waiting for you to say. You could have said it a little bit quicker, but it's not the biggest deal. You spoke for about 30 seconds. Like, it's not huge, but that's exactly what you pick up on. Like, enough? Like, what would enough actually mean to you? Because that can mean a lot of different things to different people.
Well, I mean, just moderately, probably, 1,000 to, hopefully a little bit more, 1,000 a week to a little bit more,
I would have actually gone the other direction. I would have said, what makes you say 194,000 isn't enough? Because
yeah,
it's obviously more of a simple open-ended question, right? Like, what makes you say 194,000 isn't enough? He's then immediately going to have to elaborate on all of the things that he is incapable of having, that he knows he effectively needs to have. It's going to clarify from there. It's a similar question. It's like, it's a minor detail. I think both actually elicit the same response. For some reason, that path is just resonating with me a little bit more,
if he was to respond and say, "Oh, well, price of everything's going up these days. You know what it's like to live in this country," something along that, which isn't super personal to him, how would you continue down that route and re-ask the question, but to get him to say more of an internal answer?
I would have said, well, outside of the impact that the economy is having at the moment, because obviously that's an impact that everybody is experiencing. Like, in what way would you say 194,000 isn't personally enough for yourself?
Okay.
You just flip it like that, make them take ownership rather than saying the economy. Like, bruh, the economy is everyone's issue, not yours.
I don't know exactly. I'm just going on what I live on now, working. I don't own a home, so I'm paying rent, which will probably continue to go up. So probably will need a bit more than 1,000 a week.
Yeah. So what's the goal that would actually allow you to not just get by on what you're on now, but like live the life that you want to live moving forward with your retirement? Like, what would that goal actually be?
Yeah, good. You're like, this guy's about to ramble.
I don't really know. Maybe $2,000 a week, I suppose, if that was possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I will be able to have an age pension to supplement. I don't know. I mean, I suppose you lose your pension if you're earning too much, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But and then tax as well. So yeah, it's hard for me to say because I've never really been a big money earner. So
okay. What do you currently do for work?
Property maintenance.
Okay, cool. Gotcha. And how long have you been in that one for?
About 6 years.
6 years. Okay, gotcha. And I guess what is it about the way you're currently generating income through property maintenance that's, I guess, causing you to look for alternatives as opposed to just sticking with that for a bit longer to build up the fund?
Good.
Well, because I want to retire in 2 years. It's hard physical work, and I'm 65. I don't want to keep doing that. Want to find an easier way of making an income.
Okay. What is it, just so I can understand, what is it, I guess, about the physical work that isn't ideal for you? Because obviously, there's a lot of people who just do a hard yakka and they stick with it. But for you specifically, what is it about that work that isn't so desirable?
It's the summer times, mate. It's winter time fine. It's not that hard in winter time, but in summer when you're out working outdoors all the time and it's really hot, I'm
gonna go back here. Hold on.
Doing that. Want to find an easier way of making an income.
Okay.
I'm gonna go way back.
Not just get by on what you're on now, but like live the life that you want to live moving forward with your retirement. Like, what would that goal actually be?
I don't really know. Maybe $2,000 a week, I suppose, if that was possible. I mean, I will be able to have an age pension to supplement. I don't know. I mean, I suppose you lose your pension if you're earning too much, sort of thing. Yeah. But and then tax as well. So yeah, it's hard for me to say because I've never really been a big money earner. So
okay. What do you currently do for work?
Property maintenance.
Okay, cool. Gotcha. And how long have you been in that one for?
So there's two huge points there. It's obviously that he said if it was possible for him to make $2 grand a month and that he's never really been a big earner. That's him tying himself to an identity. That's what that is. That's a statement. So that's the easiest gateway for you to just get immediately to the identity level with this guy. Like you could have just said, never been like a big earner. Like, I suppose like, how do you mean? He's like, oh, well, I've just never made much money, right, mate? I've never made that much money, mate. And then I'd go, oh, like what's been your prior career path before now? Get some past context. And then once he's given me the past context, I would then say, what do you feel it is that held you back from stepping into an occupation that could actually make you the money that you've wanted?
Mm. Yeah, that's good.
Because there you go. Like, this is the little details that you guys need to pick up on. Like, think to yourself, like, an identity statement is just when somebody describes themselves as something. It's probably the easiest way for me to say that. Like, I've never been a big earner. I'm anxious. I'm nervous. I don't make decisions on the spot. They're all identity statements because that isn't necessarily who you are as an individual. That is who you are choosing to be. And you're just saying that that's who you are. It's the difference like between somebody saying I'm a smoker compared to someone who says I have the odd cigarette. The person who says I'm a smoker or the person who says I don't smoke, that's even more impactful. Oh no, I don't smoke. You don't smoke. That's what you identify as.
About 6 years.
6 years, okay, gotcha. I guess what is it about the way you're currently generating income through property maintenance that's, I guess, causing you to look for alternatives as opposed to just sticking with that for a bit longer to build up the fund?
Well, because I want to retire in 2 years. It's hard physical work, and I'm 60.
Because the crux of it now is that he's never been a big earner, and this guy is 65 years of age and only got a new job recently at the age of 59. That's a heavily physically taxing job. So that's a hugely undesirable situation, and there is a reason as to why he is in this position. And it is through his actions and his limitations that have led him here. And we need to get to that conversation with this guy to really figure out what the cause of all of this is.
65. I don't want to keep having to doing that. Want to find an easier way of making an income.
Okay. What is it, just so I can understand, what is it, I guess, about the physical work that isn't ideal for you? Because obviously, there's a lot of people who just do hard yakka and they stick with it. But for you specifically, what is it about that work that, isn't?
Because obviously I can see where we're going here, but like that to me is, I understand the purpose behind the question. It's because he's now going to elaborate that, oh, fucking sucks doing physical work. No one likes to do physical labor, blah, blah, blah. It's not the level of depth that we need to be at from the conversation because it's almost self-explanatory. And I know I say never make assumptions, get them to say it themselves. So I see where you are going with this, but I just personally don't foresee that bringing him to a decision, just saying how much he hates his physical job, right? It's what caused him to need to take the physical job. That's the question. What caused you to...
Yeah, this is juice, bro. This is the exact section I know. I was like, this is where I tried to go deep, didn't get that deep, and then that's like the level deeper is like, okay, where's this identity coming from? Why have we chose to go into a job that we still don't like, doesn't pay well? Like, yeah, that's like the next layer.
Yeah, you're spot on there. I just wouldn't have said it as a why because that's quite direct.
Yeah, it's just me talking to you.
That's just me talking to me. Yeah. So I would say, wow. I mean, I can imagine. Obviously, at the age of 65, working a really taxing physical job must have some level of impact on you, I'm sure, right? What was it that actually caused you to take that job 6 years ago? Boom. We're in the fucking sauce. We're in the fucking sauce because now he's going to have to explain, well, I had to take the job because I wasn't making fucking money. And then I'm going to be like, oh, what were you doing prior to that job? I was doing this, this, and that. What is it that you feel has actually, I mean, really held you back? from getting into a job that didn't require such physical labor, that was perhaps easier, as you've described it there, that could make you the money that you've wanted for yourself into retirement? Bingo, bango, bongo, in. That's it. You're in.
Isn't so desirable.
It's the summer times, mate. It's winter time fine. It's not that hard in winter time, but in summer when you're out working outdoors all the time and it's really hot, it's hard. You know, it's rough. I've already had a couple of skin cancers cut out. You know,
Fucking hell.
I just want to change. You know, from working in the blaze of sun.
Yeah. Okay.
How long have you been doing physical labor style jobs like this in the blazing sun for? Because wow. Here we go. That's the context. If he's had to have 3 skin cancer removed, then he's clearly been working like in the Aussie desert his whole fucking life.
And if we,
Plus, you know, I mean,
if we
I'm
were
not getting any younger, mate. You know.
gotcha. So if we relate back to the goal, like let's say we get you to a point where you've got skills to make a consistent $2,000 a week. Just help me understand.
I'm not getting any younger, mate. Ha ha ha. Yeah. That's exactly why we're fucking here. Why are we here, man? Why are we fucking here?
Like, what would that really change for you? Like, what would that look like for you moving forward in regards to your retirement, in regards to stopping work? Like, what does that? Gotcha. So if we relate back to the goal, like let's say we get
Good job for not like laughing with him though. Just like, yeah, gotcha.
you to a point where you've got the skills to make a consistent $2,000.
Although I think we could have gone at him there. Not gonna lie, we should have pulled him up on it. I think at this point, I would have said, "Well, of course." God, I mean, I think that applies to everyone, right? We've all got like a limited time scale that we have to work on. Like, what is it that's actually led us here today, where we're in this position, that we're having to work such a taxing job at 65? Boom.
$2,000 a week. Just help me understand, like, what would that really change for you? Like, what would that look like for you moving forward in regards to your retirement, in regards to stopping work? Like, what does that really look like in real time for you?
Just a better quality of life, you know, and maybe a couple of holidays a year or something, you know, a bit of travel.
Okay.
Just a bit more comfort, you know, not so having to watch every penny.
Do you feel like that's what you're doing currently?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And help me understand, I guess for you, how long has it been a goal of yours to build?
Complete fucking fluff. He's basically said a bunch of fucking nonsense. Like, that's not the reason why you're doing this. The reason why is because you literally just said you're having to work a job that's fucking barely, you're barely coping with at your age. So a little bit of comfort, it's a huge undermining of the goal.
Build up this fund and be able to actually walk away from your current industry, which sounds quite physically demanding, and actually find a different way of making income for yourself.
What was that question?
Industry, which sounds quite physically demanding, and actually
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And help me understand, I guess for you, how long has it been a goal of yours to build up this fund and be able to actually walk away from your current industry, which sounds quite physically demanding, and actually find a different way of making income for yourself?
Probably, you know, just because I'm heading towards, you know, 67 is when, you know, I can start living off my super and looking at the amount.
Sure.
You know, well, probably the last 5 years or so, you know, it's been on my mind.
Okay.
Because the years are approaching, you know, and looking at the amount that's in there.
Okay.
Thinking, well, it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, so it's not been on your mind for, I mean, 5 years is a pretty long time. I mean, aside from the initial attempt in 2017 where we unfortunately lost 12K, I guess what else have you tried over the past 5 years in terms of like learning skills to make a remote income?
It's not 5 years. There's the catch. He's fucking giving you a 5 years and we've bit on it. It's,
How would you call that out?
I'd go, see, the issue is we're currently just lacking context on his past, which makes this more difficult, which we could have got earlier in regard to what he's done even prior to this, throughout his career, effectively. Now, I'm not here to hear their life story. I'm just here to get effectively a bit of a breakdown, right? Like, what have you done prior to this that's led to you needing to work this physical job? That's the question that would have opened the door. And then it would be 5 years. Well, would you say that the career you've been going down, I mean, given the fact you mentioned earlier that you've never really been a big money earner, is that actually the life that you really foresaw yourself living when you were younger? That's one way. It's basically saying 5 years. I mean, would you say that the jobs that you've had to work in the blistering heat was exactly where you wanted to be before then? Like, I'm just going to pull him up on it like that, because if I allow this guy to continue undermining his situation and circumstance, then he's gonna continue till he's dead because he's already left it this late. And
You're right, because he got into
Yeah.
trading in 2017, which is nearly 10 years ago. So that's just an example, yeah.
And then what? 5 years ago, 6 years ago, he went back into a job in the blistering heat. So there is something in this guy's brain that has been locking him into this life that has just led him here, where he's got no money basically as he hits retirement age. And we have to fucking confront people at that point, because like they need somebody to save them, because nobody's been bold enough to actually have the conversation that they've needed to hear. People have probably just coddled them and not challenged them hard enough so that they've stayed with their way of operating.
Not a lot, nothing really. Nothing.
Okay. Any reason we haven't really taken much action?
Well, probably because of the, being burned. Bit of, of getting it wrong, bit of trust. So many. I mean, there's a lot of people online and on Facebook and stuff like that, promising the world, and just thinking, it's, I don't have the skills. I don't have the
Textbook.
I don't want to get burned again, basically.
Yeah. No, you. I mean, do you mind if I just share like a bit of a perspective on that? Because a lot of people come to us who have been burned in the past.
Yeah, you're right. Definitely.
Cool. Well, like first of all, it does make complete sense you feel this way, because naturally as humans, like we allow past experiences to alter the way in which we make future decisions. But like, I guess as an example, like are you currently in a relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And like prior to your current wife, like have you ever had a relationship before now that actually didn't turn out the way you expected, like perhaps even ended negatively?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I think
more than one.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Look, same boat. And the thing is, like, if you were to allow those past negative dating experiences to have impacted like your trust and leave a wound, would that have had a positive or a negative impact on your current relationship that you've got now?
I'd go deeper on this. I'd flesh it out more, because this has landed hook, line, and sinker. That's why analogies are so fucking good, because people are like, yeah, fucking hell, isn't that basically everyone? Yeah, 100%. Then I would say, what's your current partner's name? Sorry, just so I'm not referring to them arbitrarily. Oh, it's Sarah. Okay. I mean, let's say that past relationship that you mentioned you've had that did end up playing out negatively. Let's say that after that experience, you allowed it to leave a bit of a mark, a bit of a wound, and then you took that negativity, that lack of trust, and you brought it in to the potential relationship with Sarah. Do you think that really would have set you both up to have the best possible chance of a bright, healthy relationship that I'm sure you hopefully have now? Look, like, see what I mean? Like, that's just gonna land way harder now, right? It's like it's their story now. It's like, and then they're really gonna buy into you more. They're gonna lean in and they're gonna be like, no, no, I see what you mean. There. It's not about what I mean, I suppose. Do you see how it's similar when it comes to your own career? Boom. We've got them on a deeper conversation here. We're bringing them into us, because that's also part of sales. Like they need to be buying into you throughout the conversation. Like, this guy is seriously caring about me. He's like making this whole conversation about me. It's very personal. That's when people begin to trust you, because they're like, holy shit, this guy fucking is listening to everything I'm saying.
Well, the one before this did have a very negative effect. I didn't really get into another relationship. I thought, I can do without it. I don't mind being on my own.
Yeah.
Quite comfortable. And it was unexpected that this one come up, but
yeah.
And it's only in the last 6 months anyway. So it's developing really.
Yeah, nice. And it's interesting because you mentioned there obviously that put you off for a while, and that led to you're not potentially pursuing anyone. But imagine if you continued to hold on to that previous weight that your ex-partner left. Would you have ever actually ended up meeting the woman that you're with these days and had this like 6 months together that you've actually enjoyed more?
Well, I did kind of think to myself, actually, maybe it would be nice, to look for look to meeting someone again. So I kind of changed my attitude. But it's been long enough.
Yeah, right. So in the same way, can you see how in that example, like you've almost allowed your previous partner to actually control and dictate over your future level of happiness and finding yourself a new partner?
Do you feel as though you'd have been genuinely as happy if you kept holding on to that resentment and didn't meet her? I want a tie down on that. I want a tie down because he has to say yes to that. Because then he's like, well, no. He's like, no, I wouldn't be as happy as now I've met her.
Yeah, because he tried doing both. He tried saying, "No, I'm okay on my own," but I didn't. Yeah, you got to get him on
Yeah.
one or the other.
You gotta get him on one or the other because he's flip flopped it a little bit, so it's not quite landed as hard as it could have. He's almost given himself like a little bit of an out with that because he pushed back on you. So then he says, "No, I wouldn't be as happy," and then I go, "Well, can you see how it's the same if we carry on holding on to that resentment? Are you ever gonna get the satisfaction that you're after in your career?" It's like there. You see how that's fucking got him now.
Yeah, I do understand that. I mean, I still remain friends with the person. We raised a couple of kids together, so
Amazing.
there was contact there, you know. So
amazing. That's obviously the best way to go about it. I guess, you know, and if we do link it back to this though, it's like if you do allow the past negative experiences that you went through when you first got into this industry, like actually stop you from ever getting the help that you need, like will we really ever be able to get the skills so that we can actually build this fund and have this comfortable retirement that you want to have?
yeah, well, you know, I guess you have to trust at some stage. You've got to trust somebody, you know. And this is only the initial stages, you know. And so far, everyone seems very genuine, you know.
Well, that's the catch. You don't. That's the get out. You know, you're right, Ollie. And you get people on this because you go, well, see, that's the catch. You don't. You could carry on holding on to that resentment, like you could have done after that past relationship, and you could have never found your current partner. You could still be by yourself, and it's what a lot of people do, unfortunately. But do you feel as though those people, the ones who don't ever allow themselves to trust again, do you feel as though they're really giving themselves the chance of living the life that they actually deserve? No. Because I need to get this guy tied down here. That's what we need to get him with here.
The way you go about it, and that. In the past, the only thing I ever got was, you know, WhatsApp messages and calls, and so you know, there wasn't that real one-on-one type relationship, you know. So but that's a plus straight away, you know. Just the way you go.
100%.
See, he's fucking fluffed it. He's fluffing it. That's not what we're fucking talking about, mate. It doesn't make a fucking difference.
Same page on that. Like, obviously, it's good to know who you're dealing with, be able to speak to them, be in contact with them. I guess the thing I'm interested in though is, I guess, why now are we, you know, prepared to drop that fear of being scammed again? Because you mentioned it's been on, you know, your back for the past 5 years that you really wanted to make a change, and it's the main reason that we haven't really moved forward or taken strides to get help. I guess what's really shifted recently that's made you actually want to overcome that and get the help that you've been looking for?
Well, like I said, I don't want to have to work my guts out, you know, through hot summers.
Oh, there it is. See what I fucking mean? That's it. That's it. What I said a while ago. Like, it's fucking crazy how it always comes back. Like, never been a fucking big earner. Having to work hot summers. Skin cancer. This dude has clearly been working in the fucking blistering heat for most of his life in some shit paying physical labor job. That's an assumption because we don't have the context, but like that's the clarity we clearly needed here, because it's like that mentality needs to be exposed as the reason as to why that's been the case. It's not the fact that somebody scammed you. It's not the fact that you've been burned in the past. It's the fact that you have made decisions up to this point that have put us into a position like this.
At my age, you know, I want to. I mean, I don't mind physical work, but it just, you know, it just gets relentless in the summer, and you know, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm thinking to myself, and just also the fact that
even at my age, it's a fucking cop out. Somebody asks me, do I want to fucking do what I'm doing right now, or do I want to fucking go shovel fucking dust in the fucking scorching 38-degree heat? What the fuck, dude? What am I gonna say? Like, such a fucking little cop out.
I don't have enough in my super, you know. So there's a combination of the two, really. So I've had enough of this. I could go on, you know, before this job, I did disability services for about 10 years.
Here we go. We're getting some source now. We're getting some context.
And then they brought in the NDIS and kind of things sort of changed. And
Disability work? I need to know what the fuck that is. I've got no idea.
I'd been in it 10 years, and I was working with severely disabled people. And it was very challenging work at times. It was rewarding, but challenging, you know. So I want to have a change. And so I knew these guys. I actually went to school with these guys, had this company. And so they said, yeah, come on board, you know. So it was easy, you know, to just get into it. And you know, I mean, plodding along, I like the guys I work with, you know, and it's not a huge income, but it's keeping me relatively fit.
How did you end up in that field? Is what I've said about the disability as well.
Yeah.
But you know, by the same token, you know, like I said, it's the not looking forward to the summer. You know, it's six years.
Yeah.
And winter's fine, but then as it's approaching summer, then the fellow I work with, we just go.
Yeah, Tom.
By asking the question, what got you into that field? Where are you hoping to take the conversation from there?
So this is a conversation we should have had a lot earlier.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Would you still have this conversation now?
Yeah, because
Okay.
like we haven't got to the crux of what we need to get to, so it has to happen. Like,
Okay.
it's difficult. I mean, let me be transparent. It's very difficult if we don't run the first 5 to 10 minutes of the call exactly how it should have been run, which isn't going to happen every time. We're not perfect. Everyone makes mistakes on calls. So there does almost get to a point where it's very difficult to loop somebody back around, because then it could build sales resistance, because they almost feel like you're beating a dead horse and you're asking them a ton of questions now, like they've already kind of given you context on. So granted, it is difficult, but that to me wouldn't get any pushback. Like, what actually got you into that field in disability? Because he said he had a passion for it, or it was rewarding. He said, not a passion, so it was rewarding. So he's going to be inclined to actually want to talk about that. It's like, what actually got you into that field? Oh, because of XYZ. Could be anything. Could be his daughter was disabled, so he did it. Could be, just couldn't get a fucking different job. So it's like, there you go. There's like a huge fucking difference depending on what his answer is, right? Like, if he said it's because he couldn't get a different job, you've just got a whole nother gateway now into that, carrying on with that conversation to continue it. Stephen McLaren, welcome in, brother. So I would say, what actually got you into that field? What were you doing prior? Like, I'm just going to get this context, because like it's not going to take forever to have that conversation. And the whole fucking conversation needs to be revolved around he's never been a big earner. That's it. It's around that as his identity. So it's like in my head, I'm just thinking, how do I have that conversation? What questions do I need to ask to get to that? That's all I'm thinking right now.
Man, I mean, he's
because he also said if it's possible. So his mindset's still cooked. He still doesn't even believe he can make the money that you're going to tell him he can. Well, you're not going to tell him he can, or that's been told that he can by your marketing team. Basically, he still doesn't even believe he can. There's the kicker.
61, I think. So
Yeah. Well,
we both look at each other. Oh man, you know, another summer. You know.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I know you mentioned before though that that's kind of been the case for the past 5 years, where we have been essentially dreading the summers and feeling like we've not got enough in this.
Oh, it's been fucking longer than 5 years. Let me fucking tell you. But good, we're on the right track. It's definitely been fucking longer than 5 years, though.
Super, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, given that we have been feeling this way for the past 5 years, I'm just trying to understand like what is actually different about this time, rather than it just being a case of we repeat what we've done over the past 5 years, kind of wanting a different life but not actually taking action. Like, what's really different about now?
Well, because I decided to do a self-managed super fund.
Okay.
I mean, it's a reasonable for industry super fund. It's a reasonable return, from what they would say, 8 to 10% a year. But I know that you can do a whole lot better than that trading. So I figured if I take myself and get some education, then there's a good chance I can do better.
No, I respect that a lot, and I honor the fact that you're on this call and you are looking for solutions. I guess the other side of the coin though, and I take a lot of these calls and I see it go both ways. Let's say just hypothetically we go through, it's a fit, but that gremlin of fear just crops back up at the time where push comes to shove and we've actually got to take the leap. And we think, oh, maybe this isn't a scam, and our brain tries to find reasons not to do this. Let's say that is what turns out, and we do go another few years without actually learning these skills and finding a way to generate $2,000 a week. What would that look like for you if in a few years' time things hadn't really changed and we were to just live off what we've got at the moment?
It was the first 5 minutes of the call. That was it. It was the if it's possible. Never been a big earner. That was it. Like, because like we've not been able to get past that because we didn't pick it up at that very moment when it came up, and he just keeps pushing back with this fucking wish-wash bullshit. It's crazy. Like he just said, the reason as to why he's now ready to take, the reason as to why he's now ready to overcome his trust issues and his fear of being burnt again is because he's opened up a super fund. What the fuck? Like, hold on. Let me just make sure that that's exactly the question you asked.
Trading the summers and feeling like we've not got
Another summer, you know.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I know you mentioned before though that that's kind of been the case for the past 5 years, where we have been essentially trading the summers and feeling like we've not got enough in the super, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, given that we have been feeling this way for the past 5 years, I'm just trying to understand like what is actually different about this time, rather than it just being a case of we repeat what we've done over the past 5 years, kind of wanting a different life but not actually taking action. Like, what's really different about now?
Well, because I've decided to do a self-managed super fund.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it's a reasonable for industry super fund. It's a reasonable return, you know, from what they would say, you know, 8 to 10.
Yeah, but outside of the super fund, I mean, of course, that is going to be potentially beneficial. But I mean, the question was more so, what has actually brought you to the point now where you're willing to overcome the trust issues that have held you back for the last 5 years? Because of course, that's the more important conversation for us to have, right? Like, you just let this guy not fucking answer the question you just asked. He just fucking said nonsense back at you, and you've just taken it.
10% a year, but I know that you can do a whole lot better than that trading. So I figured if I take myself and get some education, then, you know.
That's not what you fucking figured, because that's literally what you did fucking 9 years ago, and then you didn't do it again. So what the fuck has changed?
There's a good chance that I can do better, you know.
No, I respect that a lot, and I know the fact that you're on this call and you're looking for solutions.
I don't fucking respect that, Tom.
I guess the other side of the coin though, and I take a lot of these calls and I see it go both ways. Let's say just hypothetically we go through it's a fit in these skills and
Honestly,
finding
how
ways to
this
generate $2,000 a week.
consequence lens.
What would that look like for you if in a few years' time things hadn't really changed and we were to just live off what we've got at the moment?
Well, you know, if I thought that this wasn't right for me, or, you know, maybe you guys think that it's not something that, you know, we're compatible with or whatever, then I might, you know, continue to look for something else. I mean,
more so assuming it's a fit. Like, let's say it does line up with what you're looking for. It's just, when it comes time to actually invest and take do the hard thing, which is, put money into your education and make the commitment to yourself. Let's say that, that fear gremlin that we've had for the past few years that holds us back just pops up again, and it does on, this call or any more calls you take, right? And we aren't actually able to overcome it. That's more the direction I'm going down. Is like, what happens if we can never really overcome that fear of being scammed again, and it just does go on for years as we are?
There you go.
Then I'm living on the pension and a bit of super. You know, that's about the size of it.
And would you be willing to sell for that?
Oh, I prefer not to. I mean, if there's opportunity to have a better lifestyle, and, prepared to take a bit of a chance to do it.
I know you mentioned that if there's
What would be the real problem with that? What would be the real problem with that? Why not just do that?
opportunity. I mean, do you believe that there is opportunity out there where you could make that kind of money?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Well, why the fuck did you say if it was possible to make 2,000 a month then? First 5 minutes into the call, brother.
So what's kind of causing you to say if rather than find like using more certain language?
There you go. Fucking there you go.
Yeah, 30 minutes too late.
Yeah.
I'm not a psychologist. So,
I'm just interested.
I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychologist. You should have fucking gone to one, you 67-year-old cunt. This guy's fucking pissing me off.
maybe you are. I don't know.
That's all good. I take all these calls I pick up, and sometimes we just lack a bit of certainty, especially when we maybe haven't created the
Did
results.
he say you are though? Hold on.
Like using more certain language.
I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. So,
So maybe you are.
I don't know.
Oh, good. I'm just interested.
Maybe you are. I don't know.
Oh, you fucking need to fucking spark him here. Well, it's got nothing to do with me being a psychologist. Do you understand why I actually pulled you up on the language you use there? There's no fucking way you can let this slide now. Like, this is it now. This is the fucking call derailed if we don't pull him fucking up by his throat. Well, it's not about me being a psychologist. Like, do you understand why I pulled you up on the language you've used there? If he doesn't, which he's just implied he doesn't, well, if you were to, I suppose, think on it, like, what do you feel is the potential issue with using the term if when it comes to your goals? Like, fucking get him to respond here. And then if he really fucking pushed back, I'd use the boxing analogy with him. I'd use an analogy to allow him to understand that, like, saying if isn't fucking setting himself up. You wouldn't bet on a fucking boxer, would you? If he said he's not gonna thing, you could use like a fucking hospital thing. Is my fucking mum gonna survive this surgery? If I fucking cut the right artery. Oh, cheers, doctor. Fucking hell.
No, it's all good. I just like
It's fucking not all
it's
good.
not. Yeah, I take a lot of these calls and I pick up,
Oh
and
my
sometimes we
God.
just lack a bit of certainty, especially when we maybe haven't created the result before.
No, no, you're telling him. You're telling him
Yeah.
fucking shit.
But mate, if it's the case that you genuinely are in a
And then
position now where you want
I
to
pitch
go
from
about
here.
Oh.
things the right way,
Good.
actually learn skills and systems and really set yourself up over the next couple of years. I'm very confident that what we can do can get you there. It's just a case of connecting you to the right kind of support and, of course, being very consistent on your end with the process. But if everything lines up on your end, I'm more than happy to give you a rundown of what the roadmap's going to look like for you and how we actually get you a result. Sound cool?
Yeah, sure.
So also, we are not using anywhere near enough assumptive language here. Like, before I pitch somebody, there's no fucking way I'm saying if it lines up. I'm saying I'm going to walk you through exactly how we're going to get you to XYZ goal. Like,
Okay.
you should never be pitching someone if you're still using if terminology. Because I am only ever going to pitch someone when I know for a fucking fact they are in a position where they are ready and willing to overcome themselves and move forward. And I have the solution. I know this can solve your problem. I'm now just going to walk you through exactly how we're going to personalize it to yourself to make sure that we're on the right track here. Peace out, Connor. So we highlighted the blunder effectively. Obviously, it was like, if it was possible, never been a big money earner and not discovering like what the psychology behind that was. And it's crazy because you can clearly see how that's been reflected right there at the end of the call when he's like, I don't know, mate, I'm not a fucking psychologist. It's like, that basically shows he's never been asked questions like that before. He's never had to think about the way in which he operates, the certainty he has in himself, the decisions he makes for himself. And he's continuing to completely externalize by saying, I'm not a psychologist. That's the most cop-out way of saying, if I were to answer you, it would make me feel uncomfortable. So I'm just going to say, oh, I'm not a psychologist, mate. Oh, talking about your feelings, that's gay, mate. I don't talk about my feelings. Says the dude who's fucking clinically depressed in his private life. Like,
One
it's
thing though
always the
is
case.
these older dudes, Ethan, as well.
Yeah, like, well, it makes
that-
it makes it even harder because they've lived such a long life of having that mentality. So
Yeah.
it's like they have these limiting beliefs are cemented into their psychology at this point, and they think it's like you can't teach an old dog new tricks in a way. It's like they think because they've had that belief system for so long that it's fine. That's how they should be operating because it's got me here. That's how I've always acted through life.
Yeah.
You feel like it's a bit of
These older
pride.
dudes.
100% pride. It's because 100%, yeah. Because if they were to admit that their entire life has effectively amounted to nothing that they'd really wanted it to, how fucking painful is that going to be? Immensely painful.
Especially to a younger guy as well.
Yeah,
Like Tom's
exactly.
really young. Like that's like
Yeah.
pretty. That's like a sledgehammer to the face, isn't it?
Exactly, 100%. Like this, he's speaking to this very young lad. He's not going to try and say, "Oh, I fucking let myself down. I've done this. I've done that." The only way in which you're going to get that out of him is by fucking pulling him up on it hard and not letting it slide. That been useful though, all around.
Very, very, very useful. Thank you.
Yeah, very useful.
Composure was very good. We were on the right trend. So it's almost like just these little tweaks. What I would say is just be a bit more conscious of that identity language. Just make sure you pick up on it if it springs and then think, okay, identity. How is there a clarifying question I can ask that's just going to streamline me to a new layer of depth? And then secondly, there does come a point where you have to acknowledge you have to overcome your fear of burning the lead and killing
Yeah.
the sale. That's what it is. Because that's the only reason as to why you don't really hard challenge someone. It's because you think they're going to freak the fuck out on you and feel offended or and then they're going to push back, and then they're not going to buy. But it's like, at the end of the day, you're here to fucking take their money, or you're here to actually help them. That's the question that you've got to ask yourself.